Greetings, creature. It is I, VK Jehonim, and the V stands for Vidian. I'm going to talk about the demon Amducious. Now, back in 2016, I wrote a little demonology essay for my free WordPress website. And I still like that essay. I still think it was good. But in the decade that's passed, I've come across a lot of really good demonology books that I had never even heard of back in 2016. Books that have some pretty great information that I wouldn't normally have access to. One would be Stellas Daemonum by David Crowhurst. Another would be Goetia Pathworking by Corwin Hargrove. There's The Goetia Devils by Reverend Kane. And there is The Astrological Goetia by Jamie Paul Lamb. Now, the Astrological Goetia doesn't have a lot of unique insight regarding the demons, but I'm including it in this video for one reason and one reason only. You'll see soon. So, I figured that I would make a video telling y'all what else I would have added to my essay if I had these books at the time. So, first things first. The name Amducious or Amdukias turns out to legitimately just originate from the Greek word dukas. It means duke. That's his rank in the Goetia. His name is his rank. So obviously Amducious appears with the head of a unicorn. I never really understood why. You see, to my understanding, unicorn originated as a name for a monoceros, a one-horned rhino. How that word came to represent a horse with a horn, I don't know. That's what I've always heard the word unicorn came from. But I never really thought about why Amducious would want to appear with a unicorn's head. After all, the form they take is their choice. They have many forms and many aspects they can come to you in. So, the traditional appearances you see in the Ars Goetia are meant to have symbolic meaning to people from a bygone era. It's often difficult to decipher, which is why I usually let them take new forms so they can take shapes that represent something to me. But this David Crowhurst guy had the answer. So, Amducious is said to be able to make trees move. And unicorns are supposed to live in the deepest part of the woods, mythologically. So that represents his connection to nature. Another thing is that unicorns are said to be able to raise themselves from the dead if they are killed. That represents Amducious's mastery of death. Reverend Kane wrote that Amducious can defile and purify anything. And again, Reverend Kane elaborates that Amducious can gradually help you attain spiritual immortality, or godhood as we call it. So the unicorn's mastery of life and death can also relate to the immortality that Reverend Kane is writing about. I'm going to tell you more, but first I have a message from our sponsor, Otter Spirit. Right now I am wearing a bracelet pack specifically dedicated to the Divine Feminine. It's composed of labradorite, amethyst, and moonstone, all three of which are good for strengthening your intuition. I like to use moonstone when I'm doing divination to help prevent me from doubting the readings I'm doing, and amethyst, great for developing psychic abilities as well as for astral projection. This bracelet pack was sent to me by Otter Spirit. Otter Spirit makes crystal jewelry with AA and sometimes even AAA grade crystals. In other words, these are 3 of the highest quality crystal bracelets I've ever owned. Obviously, they have a Divine Masculine bracelet pack as well. In addition to those, they also have different bracelet packs for different chakras and even for different holidays. They also make necklaces as well as crystal balls with the exact same high-quality material that we have come to expect from Otter Spirit. If you use my discount code, VIDIAN20, all one word, you can get 20% off any purchase from this company. If you use my code VIDIAN30, you can get 30% off any purchase over $99. I will put both of my codes as well as my referral link in the description for your convenience. Have a great night. I'll see you at the end of the video. And we are back. Now, as many of you know, if I am able to find it, I like to include the numerical values of the demons I cover in Hebrew Gematria when I write my demonology essays. Thus far, my source for these numerical values has always been a book called Gematria and the Tonic by Brian Pivick. You can see how long I've had this. The astrological Goetia also gives numerical values in Gematria for the Goetic demons, but they're different oftentimes from the numerical values in the book I've been citing since back in the day. That's because there are many different ways to calculate the numerical values in Gematria. The Brian Pivick's book will often have more than one numerical value. According to Jamie Paul Lamb, the numerical value of the name Amducious is 382. Now, what good is this knowledge, Gematria? It's a little underrated amongst demonolators and theistic Satanists in general, in my opinion. Well, you can use these numerical values in a practical way. So obviously, when you summon a demon, you usually draw its sigil. And as most of you know, that sigil will be even more powerful if you draw it in a color that is attributed to the demon. Well, when you draw that sigil, you can write the numerical values of the spirit's name on the same piece of paper or parchment that you've drawn the sigil on. It will strengthen that sigil in the same way that using a corresponding color does. Now, Reverend Cain's book, The Goetia Devils, is based on his personal gnosis and his personal experience with the demons. So his planetary attributions are often different from what we see in the Ars Goetia. Traditionally, Amducious has always been attributed to the planet Venus, but Reverend Cain attributes Amducious to Neptune. So, which one's correct? Both. In most cases, attributing a planet to a demon or a deity in general is an oversimplification. They often have multiple stellar and planetary attributions. Amducious is more powerful than usual on the dates of February 19th to February 23rd, at least when summoned by an incarnate person. He's more powerful in our cosmos during those dates. He also enjoys offerings of blue candles, jade, jasmine, mimosa, sandalwood, and copper. He is an emissary of a Maimon, and he's said to be able to awaken the beast within mortals, which, again, perfectly matches that head of a unicorn, body of a man depiction. He can break someone's will. He can force them to submit to you and comply. He can also help you develop new skills and break bad habits. Anyways, that's all for now. Have a great night and enjoy your immortality. Don't forget to sign up for the Obtaining the Devil's Wealth ritual that I'm performing alongside Garrett, Goetic, and Demonology. That link's in the description, as is everything else.